Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not me? Why not you? Huh? Why don't you just vote for me? Why not? What could you lose? You know? What could you lose? Why not? You know? So we'll see how the quality is on this stream. Let's see what the hell I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing. But I thought I'd go live tonight because just another Tuesday? Is it just another Tuesday? You know, it could be just another Tuesday for me and another live stream. And it could be another Tuesday just for you. But haven't you noticed that my voice is a little too high? I wonder if I can make it a little bit more deeper. There, that's a little bit better. But haven't you noticed that many people in the world right now are paying attention to one certain thing, and it's not the World Cup because the World Cup's not going on, and it's not this live stream because if 0.0002% of the world were watching this live stream, it would be amazing. That's maybe 2 million people. So we'll see if we hit 2 million people watching this live stream. All right, so I will talk about a couple transits, whatever comes up. I wish there was a randomize button, a randomized chart button on my astrology software, so it just would pull up a chart, like even 200 years from now or 500 years before or tomorrow, and I would just talk about it. But I know there's other things on your mind. So I decided to go live tonight because I'm sitting here, and I don't want to watch, per se, the news channels, even though I could. I won't. It's just like... They have no answers. They're getting like official numbers coming to them. So all the channels right now are sort of on their own prediction levels, but they never answer. They're just talking and waiting. So it's you know, like, what the fuck? You might as well just go to sleep. You take an edible, you take a Valium, whatever you're doing, and just wake up, right? To a celebratory atmosphere, or your nightmare. So, you know, I'm not going to watch those news channels. So I go, oh, well, why don't I just go live? Why don't I just do this? Because I can. And I'm sitting here, and I just treated myself to a bunch of French fries, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk about some transits. You know, there's one in particular that's coming up here on the weekend. We're getting into, where are we? We're getting into a Venus square Neptune situation that's coming on Saturday. Whoa, hello? Hello, is someone at my door? No, let's try to simulate a doorbell. Bum, bum. Yeah. Bum, bum. Dun, dun. No. Bum, bum. Hey, wow, I got people in here. What's happening, people? Let's just bust a move here. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. I'm popping out my chat here because I see Canada Dry with a super chat. Thank you. Love to give anytime I can with 4 wings. You rock. Hi. I see Wake Me From This in the chat. Oh God, thank God for you right now. I wish I was passing out drinks and candy in real life for you all, but yeah. So I see Sam in chat. Hello, how are you? Alex D. Patrick Carrick. Oh, come on, Nick, you're killing me here. I have way too many tabs open tonight. Yeah, I know you're doing serious research on all those tabs, all those YouTube videos got open, you know. Yeah, who else? Brianna, I knew you would go live tonight. Here I am. Hi, Stephanie King. No. There you go. There it is. There's my... Come on in, Manny Bailey, and say what's up. Hey, look there's a program right here. There's my desktop, just so you could see what's happening there. You know, here is actually my face on my desktop right there. if I hit this, it's a lot of the images I use. Like, that was at my old place. Look I actually had some sleep. I look younger there. God, I wonder if there's a program out there that can, like, put my younger face on me the whole time I'm talking, and they could just choose whatever age I want to do my stream at. That would be amazing. Like, how would I look like when I'm in 70 years old? Basically, I know I'm not going to have any hair and probably be white or not. So, hey, Nestle, good to see you in here. Let's check out the current transits that's happening right now as I do this stream. I'm in 6:34 p.m. Pacific. Am I loud enough? Wait a second. Am I? Whoa. Take it easy, Nicholas. That was the wrong button. Okay, so there's that. So that's the chart for right now. Let's go to annotate screen. Check it out. I started the stream with a Gemini ascendant, and it's right on my sun, and Jupiter is on my sun as we speak. Is that the reason why I went live? Yes, it is. Along with the midheaven at 19 degrees. The moon is inching up to a conjunction soon, which will happen with Pluto. Is this the last? Yes, it's the last moon-Pluto conjunction that's going to happen in Capricorn for fucking ever, okay? So that's going to happen officially. Let me look here. 2:37 p.m. on November 7th is Thursday. Is officially going to be the last moon-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. So there's that. Okay, that's all my live stream's about. That's all you should care about. Thanks for joining me, because I just wanted to show you the only thing that matters is Pluto, you know? And who cares about classical astrology, Hellenistic astrology? It doesn't matter. Saturn? Come on. Venus? What? It's just Pluto. You can just do astrology by Pluto, okay? So I can't wait for other people to watch this later on. You can tell I'm in a mood. Okay, so anyway, there's that. So there's a Moon-Pluto conjunction, but we're looking at the transits here, and we are going to look here to Mercury here. The secret guy. Always secret, man. He's always playing his games, isn't he? He's always doing something. And he's doing something in Sag. And as we go further, for those who watched my last live stream, I didn't do the best chapter markers on it, but I highlighted a lot of the Mercury aspects for the next couple months, because I think they're super important, and I actually think they are connected to the election today and will be. So that is my prediction. I don't know who's going to win or lose, even though I've already had a personal opinion on who's going to win for a long time now, but I'm not making any astrological predictions, and I have my reasons. My first reason is it's flipping a coin. Second is, if you've noticed, a lot of the predictions out there, and maybe I'll find the page up there that's on a SkyScript forum that an astrologer has put together all the astrological predictions for the election. Mind you, there's only 2 candidates that are running. So flip the coin. But in this case, you have people using all sorts of techniques, all that. It's always interesting to look at some of this, but at the same time, I think in the end, it can do a major disservice for astrology itself, because it's a coin toss. So if anybody's watching on the outside and they're like, oh, well, it's easy, they're going to pick this or that, this party or that party. They're like, well, yeah. And so if you're talking about different types of predictions, forecasting in a different kind of way, you know, I'm listening, but I'm not going to do that. And I know many of my colleagues have done it, and that's cool. That's their thing. But it truly is a coin toss. So that's my opinion there. Why I'm like, whatever, you know. And the other thing is we're going to see it regardless, right? So whether it's decided tomorrow or in 2 months, the arguments and the debates that will happen with whoever wins, and then whoever predicted it, right? So they're going to be that kind of factional argument and discourse that's going to happen within the astrology community, as if they haven't fucking learned over the last so many times of doing this what happens. And it's just, now people are trying to be the smarter one or the better one, or look what I did with what technique. And then there's others who are doing that, but they're really working it right now because it gets the clicks. It gets the clicks. Do I have to say who is on YouTube for the last so many months or the last so many years is completely picking the most hot button topics to talk about to get the clicks and all the subscribers, especially with politics? It's mind-blowing to me that no one catches this and doesn't feel like their intelligence is insulted by all this. But for some reason, the comments are hella comments and there's all this stuff. And it's just like, because they're picking this party for these reasons and their political reasons, so it is creating a contention within the astrological community, just like a house system debate or something else, where somebody has to say something drunk one night, drinking something on a Facebook post to start off a whole complete fucking tangent about something. It's like, why do you feel the need to do that? You don't feel like securing your own astrology studies for your own clients or what you're doing? That it's this thing, this contention of having to prove and debate out there, because in the end, for why? Because you want to be in the annals of history, to be known for this? And so for me, people do this stuff for various reasons. For me, I'm not going to do prediction like that or get caught up in the stuff like that, because I'm not looking to get the ego praise in the ego debate. So Dora Destroys in here. Dora Destroy is in the chat. And then Mercury is sending Faust's Lilith having a cup of cappuccino, it looks like, in the chat. So what's up? So anyway, here's the transits here. I talked about Moon Pluto here, and I want to make note of something that's happened on Saturday, because I had no plans doing this. And it's coming up here on Saturday, and it is the Venus square Neptune right here, 28 degrees. We're getting at the end there. And I think about this because Venus is it's fast moving through, visual in the sky, already through Sag. So Venus actually has been a little bit of a scout planet for us for this Mercury retrograde. For those of you who are mutable or Sagittarians who are about to go through a massive Mercury retrograde, and you're going to get called out with your extravagance, with your words and palabras. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't wait for this. I can't wait to be eating popcorn and be like laughing at this stuff, because that's the kind of Gemini I am. That's the kind of Gemini I am, is because out of any sign out there where I sit and have the most purest entertainment form of laughing is when a Sagittarius goes off kilter, when they go, the Mercury Sagittarius does their thing and then they get caught. They get caught like in their own words, right? With nothing to back it up, and they don't remember what they said, whatever it is. I'm the type of guy who's going to be like, dude, yeah, I remember what you actually said. So that's me being a smart ass. And because I've had Sagittarians in my life that do this, and I just live for moments like this. So anyway, you Sagittarians out there, those in Mercury, Venus has been scouting for you. So if you get a clue here, the degrees it goes over, blah, blah, blah. Mercury's going to do this during the retrograde. Here we have Saturday at 5:15 a.m. on November 9th. We have Venus square Neptune. And where are you, Neptune? Ooh, look where the moon is over there. I just don't know if you saw that. But there is that. So right here is the square between the two. And the hint now of what's going to come during the retrograde is happening here. Like, what the hell is real, right? A lot of times Venus Neptune is pedestal-y things that we put up somewhere and it almost admire and genuflect towards. You know, it could turn out to be this way, right? You think it's real, and it has all this gravitas behind it relationally, right? So you get caught up in some amazing, not sensual, but like sort of, you're basically getting high, okay? So you're getting high in some sort of way relationally with Venus Neptune, but at the same time too, though, the truth in that relational situation is you don't know what it is, and you won't know what it is till later on, or until like the next day when you're hungover, right? Hungover from whatever Venus type of way you get hungover on. So that is a situation there. Mercury's going to hit this place too down the line. So for me, when I look at something like this, and where we're at. And then if you notice here where the moon is at 29 degrees, but it's about to jump into Pisces, we have a lot of this dissolving and rippling over Venus, basically. And you can't trust it. You just can't trust it. I wouldn't trust it, okay? So Magpie 327 is a Sag. My Sag rising is a clown. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. Hey, Isha, how are you? Hey. So let me do this really quick. Who else is in chat? Patrick says, because mundane judicial astrology is hard and very few want to engage in it at the level where interpretations are more limited. Yeah, I know what you're saying there. Now, just with the internet and everything else, doesn't matter. Some fucking, who knows, man? There's somebody out there using fucking human design to fucking predict this shit. I don't, don't get me started on human design. So, unfollow me if you want. Don't get me started on that. So, but yes, we have a Mercury and Sag in the chat. Manny Bailey says, as Mercury and Sag, I always feel like I come across as a know-it-all, even though I'm just having normal conversation. I know what you're saying. By the way, out of any time you have to gauge every Mercury and Sag out there watching with the retrograde coming up, gauge it yourself of whether you should completely put yourself out there mentally, verbally, communicatively, right, in the next couple of months, or if you should tone it down. Because I actually think there's some out there that actually should say it all out loud. But knowing that, what comes along with that is you're going to have to review and backtrack and I think the key to this is admitting to it. So it's like you say something. Let me see if something works here. I need to see if I spent money on gear and I should use it. There we go. Let's see. Does this work? No, I haven't turned it on yet. What I'm saying is you be prepared. So let's think about the word I'm using right now. You already know that if you do say a bunch of stuff and stand on your soapbox for the next 2 months, know what comes along with it during the Mercury retrograde. Know that there's 3 oppositions to Jupiter. Know that Saturn squares Mercury 3 times. And there's a couple other aspects. And know when the moon goes into Virgo that one time, there's going to be a mutable grand cross for those days. Just know this stuff. And if you actually know this, then put it all on the line, knowing that you will retweak, and come back, right? But I think, and this is my personal opinion, is that when you have to backtrack or redo the paragraph that you said, or you have to be clear in whatever way in the moment is. So what I'm really saying is admit that you're wrong when it happens to yourself or to other people. If it was some sort of situation that went out of sorts, instead of having a mutable way of talking around it, go, you know what? You're actually right. I did say that, and I apologize for saying that. But after thinking about these things and hearing what you had to say, I want to tell you in a more clear way. Will you please hear me on this? Or it's the other way around. Like you hear their truth multiple times after some debates, right? But the key thing is, I think, being honest to where you are. The Mercury and Scorpio might not do that, but they will be honest. But if you actually catch them in a certain way, they would admit it for 1 second. Now, I think here is the discussion is, remember when you just remember to speak the truth, okay? Now, some of you Mercury and Sagittarius probably will have certain situations come where you probably have to wind it back and down and maybe not say anything at all. You have to gauge that for yourself, okay? So those are my weird opinions. And I'm looking at the chat. Hey, Jolly's in there. Says, I'm a Mercury and Sag, LOL, but I have a mutual reception with Jupiter and Virgo. And we're doing mutual reception with this one, by the way, as you know. It still doesn't get you out of jail. My opinion at the end of the Mercury thing, I think there's a profound truth, a profound something that happens in the Sagittarius part of one's chart. It can, especially if you're Mercury and Sag. I think it's totally there, but you're going to have to surf through it. Just admit it, okay? And when it actually gets dark, like not dark, but it gets heavy, don't be afraid to say that it's heavy. Actually, don't be afraid to say that like you're in fear. Like you actually don't know. I don't know anything. Now, if somebody's been watching me on social media or doing my live streams, you know I do this. I don't know anything. I put something on my threads the other day because I was doing something else. I'm like, was my astrology hot take, you know, because these astro Twitter kiddies have been on there for the last 5 years. They're coming on threads in Blue Sky trying to do manipulative and hyper-capitalistic selling tactics that they do, acting like it's natural talk, right? So anyway, they do this, and I was talking about, you don't know anything, I don't know anything. Like, and it's true. So if a Sagittarius can actually say that, like, you know what, I don't know. That could be the most profound truth of them all, isn't it? Like, to actually admit it instead of like talking around it when you don't know, or you're actually in fear mode and you feel like you have to talk through it or put the facade of hope and elevation and stuff, because sometimes it's not that way. It's just not that way. Sometimes it's like, this is shit. I'm shit. I have nothing to say actually because I don't fucking know. And I'm like, Mercury, Gemini in the audience eating popcorn is like, oh, etch that in stone. Etch that in stone. Because that's the truth. So, the name of this stream was Astrology Free-For-All live stream, The Reckoning. I didn't know it was going to be the reckoning for the Mercury and Sages. You know I'm playing with you. Titian X is here. Grateful Gale. Grateful Gale. Mercury and Sag, 6 degrees. Hi, Grateful Gale. By the way, Grateful Gale, it is, for some reason, let's actually, for Grateful Gale in a chat, and for those, I'm going to pull up 2 charts, okay, since we're talking about Mercury and Sag. The first one I'm going to pull up, it actually is December 6th, and I just remembered in the top of my head why. And it's because of Gail said in chat. And here's December 6th. This is the day that Mercury, wait. Oh, yeah. This is the day, not Mercury, but this is the day Mars stations retrograde at 6 degrees. So for somebody like Grateful Gale in chat, Mars is going to trine their Mercury, but station on this day. And this is a notable week for them because they will have to keep track of this again down the line. Now, saying that, if I move the chart to the 15th of December, here we're on the 6th right now. If I go to the 15th right here, then you will see, there's, Mars is going back slow. There's 5 degrees, but look at Mercury. And this is when Mercury stations forward out of the retrograde at 6 degrees. So Grateful Gale and anybody else, you saw an important Mercury and Sagittarian degree right here for you. When it's anything stationing forward or going retrograde, like on a planet, it's on. It's the deal. So saying that, right? So saying that, here, let's go to today, just to look. And we're going to go look at Mercury. And it's at 4 degrees. And you could see here within, we'll move it up a day. Here's the 5th. Here's right now. Here's 1 and 2. And you could see between the 6th and the 7th that Mercury hits 6 degrees right here. So Gail in chat, some other people might be having the Mercury return, but you could see how prominent it is down the line for the retrograde cycle. So, hey, Mandy, Sheeler, hi, Kathy in chat, 6 degrees. Yeah, what's up? So, I'm doing a free-for-all here, so you could tell I have no plan, but I just want to talk about Mercury here. But some of the things I wanted to bring up, too, had to do with, we're going to look at the lunation. Well, speaking of Mercury, let's do it. Let's go to next Tuesday, the 12th. This could be, depending on what happens politically with the results and lawsuits and shit, we will go to the 12th of next week, because here is one of the first Mercury square with Saturn that happens, and we want to keep track of this. So this is 5:21 a.m. Let's do it officially here, since I'm on a free-for-all stream, just doing whatever here. But let's go. We're going to aspect this, right? We're going to go Mercury square. Oh, look at it. I already queued up. Oh, look at, there's the second one. Anyway, there's that. And that's next week here. And you could see Mercury. Here's Saturn at 12 degrees. Very important point for those 12 mutable or those Pisces that have 12, 11, 12, 13 degree suns. Huge thing, but it's because I'll get to what's about to happen. But you could see Mercury here is squaring it, and it's the first out of 3 that it's going to happen. So let's just say legality, votes, runoffs, all types of shit. A week from now, we're building towards this. We're already building to something that will happen 2 other times. Next time during the retrograde, and then when Mercury comes out of the retrograde, it's going to square Saturn the 3rd time. So for me, whether it is the election or mundane political events or in your own life or discussions that you're having and certain things, know that I don't care if things are, if there's what do they call it? If there's mutual reception going on or whatever else, I don't personally care. I just see a wicked Mercury retrograde coming. So listen, would I want to know the results of the election by tomorrow and whatever it is? I would rather have it and know it. Like, I could just deal with life. We can all deal with life. Again, I told you in the beginning of the stream, some people will celebrate, some people it's not. I would rather know outright. But the astrology doesn't show it outright. And it could seem like it's outright. And so whether it's the election or any other, something's in your life, you could see here, because of the next 2 months, I just feel like there's a lot of mutational movements that are not set in stone. And Saturn here on the 12th wants to set it in stone, right? It wants to call out the Mercury and Sag. It's asking to do that. And so, we can't forget about, by the way, we just can't forget about Jupiter here, right? So it wants to do this. So, but will it? And knowing the transits coming up, it will need to be reviewed many times. So that is something I wanted to bring up along with Venus here. You will see here when we get on next Monday on the 11th, hits Capricorn, which basically is hitting a cardinal sign, and you could see here the node is still at 5 degrees, and so it's moving towards squaring the lunar nodes in Aries and Libra, continuing the eclipse story, by the way, and squaring this stuff. So that's the part that's tripping me out right there, because we know in the last year and a half, whenever Mars and Venus have gone through cardinal signs, they are the rulers of the North and South node, and they've always brought about the story, and you can look at this politically. I will make a prediction saying during this transit of Venus and Capricorn that the Middle East situation, there's going to be something. It's been major every day. Like, pretty much they fired a defense minister today because he wasn't in line with Netanyahu's stuff today. They fired him. He fired him. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. I have no effing clue. The whole thing's bad in my mind. But expect to see something major happening here when Venus going through. Whether it's hitting 5 degrees or it's hitting the 27 to 28 degree cardinal point that it did, October 7th of last year when Mars was in Libra with the node, and it did that whole thing. It set everything off. Here, Venus is going to hit those places, those cardinal places. So this is something I've been thinking about, and that's what gets me. I honestly was talking to a colleague of mine today, or chatting it up, and I just got to the point, like, I'm actually more worried about the Middle East situation and what's happening in the Congo, what's happening in Ukraine, Russia, more than the U.S. election, because of that part of the world and our influence there, but what could be set off in the direction. So imagine if you were living closer to those areas of the world. Like, we're over here and we are affected by it, but some of us aren't. We don't really grasp it. Imagine if where you live in the United States, that 2 states over to you, there was a major war going on. Like the distance was that way, and that's how it was. That's how it is for many people in Europe or in the Middle East or in Africa. That's how it is. For us, we're always been separated. So there's something here to all that. And so for me, I'm more worried about those situations, to be honest. So I'm going to say hi to Kathy Boykin in chat. And yeah, Gail, get to work. You get to. We got to take it easy. A lot of us. I'm on here for part of therapeutic purposes tonight, to be honest. So Maximum Rising, hello, and hi, Mila, in chat. So I talked about that, and then I want to bring up one more thing here. Let's just do it because, and I might do another weekly video for the weekend, but since I just went live, I said, fuck it, So let's, I want to bring up this lunation next week, and let's do it. That's the 15th here. That is November 15th. And hey, you haven't been paying attention. Here it is. And this lunation just doesn't let up. We have this full moon in Taurus at 24 degrees. That's weird. I calculated this. No, that's correct. At 24 degrees, it conjunct Uranus. The Uranus story that's been happening here since the summertime, especially with the algal things, people were doing that shit. I'm like, whatever. But I'm in the fixed stars. I just want to point that out. I'm not going to put all the gravitas on there, the weight on there. But just know that's coming up next week. And so it's a Mars-Venus thing. And we look to Venus like I was talking about. And at that point, it is, let me see, it's pretty much squaring the nodes at 5. It's right there. And you could see Mars here. We know the signature it's had after its first Mars-Pluto opposition that we're doing right now. It's moving forward. And it also is part of the nodal story too. Mars trining the node. Again, Mars-Venus things. So that lunation next week is a biggie for you Scorpios and for your Taurus people, especially my Taurus people at these degrees. You got a major lunation like this. We can go back all the way. Here's May 7th. May 7th of earlier this year, where we had a new moon in Taurus that happened at 18 degrees. It's not at the same degree, but we always look at lunations like this 6 months later. So for you Taurus people or people affected by this, you can go back here to this point in time, May 7th, 2024, and it's 6 months later, and we are pretty much at the fruition of this particular lunar cycle, what was birthed during the new moon in Taurus. 6 months later at the full moon that we have here in Taurus next week on the 15th, you could see, interestingly enough, you could see here Jupiter in Taurus at 25 degrees. For those people specifically tied into this, pay attention to what was started, right? You can go into 3 months later when we did Leo lunations here. So that was like the first 3 months of coming off this new moon, the first 3 months, right? And by the way, for those doing astrology, if you just want to pick a funny, interesting concept to work with, it's just dealing with lunations in your chart. So if let's say you were one of these people here, like in this, oh God, wait, how come you people in chat don't tell me to move the chart over? You gotta watch for me, will ya? So here, here is 18, but this is something you can do. You can do this within the month, right? So, we just had a new moon in Scorpio, then we do first quarter moon, and we keep going, right? So basically, the first we had new moon in Scorpio, 9 degrees, and then this Friday, we're at first quarter phase where it will be in Aquarius, right? Fixed signs. We do this in the month, but you can do this in your chart for like lunations like this throughout the year, and you could separate it in 4 chunks if you wanted to, right? So basically, you could see here that Jupiter was at 25 degrees, and we come back to this time, with next week's lunation. And if you check this here, because I was looking at this earlier, we're looking at where Saturn was at 17. Okay, that's where Jupiter is going towards now in Gemini, but you could see where Mars was at 5 degrees, okay? And remember, Mars was bringing up the rear earlier this year from those eclipses we had. All the other planets did Aries and Taurus stuff first, and then Mars came through, right? So Mars here is at 5 degrees, okay? And here we are at the chart for next week. And you could see, the lunar nodes are 5 degrees cardinal. So if you want to do deeper work and specific to your chart, like with the examples I just showed you, and let's just say you're one of these people where that cardinal I was just showing you, you can do this stuff and lose yourself in data and to make the connections of events in your life or the continuation of a story, right? But anyway, so saying that, it's a Mars-Venus story for next week's full moon. And soon, when these nodes will leave Aries and Libra, Venus and Mars, the beginning of the year, it's going to be all about Jupiter and Mercury for a while, right? So it's a massive change, I think, energetically that happens with how we're looking at Venus and Mars. We always pay attention to them, but Jupiter and Mercury will be in the forefront of everything now, and it has been. Jupiter going into Gemini this year, and everything has happened with Mercury transits ever since the end of May till now, how I started talking about this stream, have been super important, right? But it gets there's even more weight on there when the nodes move in to Pisces and Virgo. And I just think, not thinking about outer body changes and planets that are going to happen here now in the next year, all that stuff. If you just think from a nodal perspective and looking at Mercury and Jupiter, they're going to be the ones moving things and part of things. And when we look at transits. So Jagger Waters, I see you. What's up, my friend in chat? And yes, so that lunation happens next week. Cannot forget something that I saw. Where is it? And here's the important part of this lunation, is here that on the day of the full moon, Saturn will station retrograde at 12 degrees. Like I mentioned a little earlier in this stream, for those Pisces people who have their sun at 12 degrees, big moment for you next week, tied into a full moon. And if you're a Scorpio and your birthday is around next week at this time, and you need to talk, you know who to talk to. Because that's not a boring solar return chart. There's a lot going on right there. So there's that. We will go, one more thing before I do a surprise on you, is we will go to the next day when got Venus square the nodes, like I was talking about officially. There's Venus at 7. No, that happens a little earlier. It's officially here. You have Sun Uranus, but that's basically what the full moon was. Okay. All right. Good. Got any questions? You ask me in chat because I'll take them. And but yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna do something here. Let's have a check-in. Let's see what the hell's going on. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here on the New York Times page, there. That's expected what you're looking at, by the way. Mind you, it's New York Times, right? So if I go to the Reuters page, there, yeah, that's expected. This is expected. I mean, come on. Florida, come on. You weren't going to win that. Just by the way, I want to show you something here. I'm going to show you that 41,000 people in Florida voted for Jill Stein, okay? All right, let's just go. Let's pick Texas. We have 52,000 people vote for them. Look at this. Look at this one. Here's Louisiana, where Robert Kennedy Jr. couldn't get off the ballots, right? There isn't a big discrepancy here, but there's just funny situations going on here. Let me look here. But these red states, those are expected to go that way. It's this other stuff that we're waiting for, and that's the biggie. So don't lose your mind yet. All right. But I just wanted to bring this up And do I go off on a rant right now? Do I really go off on a rant right now about this? It's not astrology based. It's my fucking opinion channel based. But some of you have been following me here or following me on my Instagram stories. You know what I've been saying for the last 2 months about strategic stuff and dealing with podcasts that one should have been on, and certain places and certain demographics should have reached out your hand to, and blah, blah, blah. But, what do I know? What do I know? Grateful Gail, oh, you guys are talking in chat. Go for it. Yeah, I could go for it. All right, so saying that, ask me an astrology question in chat. I'll do my best to answer or to point you in the right direction, okay? I want you to do that while I do something here on my own off to the side. And I'm going to grab something. Where is it? Give me a second. 5, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so we are going to look at, no, that's not what I want to do. I think I'm going to make a regular video on Mars and Leo transits this weekend, just to outline it, even though I'm late to the game. I'm never late to the game. I'm always on time, right? So I will do that. I just got to look through my notes here. Yeah, I will do that another time. Okay, so let me get something straight here. Let me see if this is going to work. Be patient with me. There's that. Hold on. What? Yeah, someone's in. I so you can ask me in chat, and someone in chat's like, "What should I ask?" Okay. So give me a second. All right, I got to do a test here, and you're going to help me. No? We know what that is. Okay, let's do it. Let's do a phone call. I don't know if this is going to work correctly, so if you want to make a call and you... Grateful Gail in chat says, may all our birthday wishes come true starting tonight. I hear you, Grateful Gail. I hope so. So, let's do it. Let's do this. Give me a call, will you? You ask me astrology question. You want to talk about one specific thing in your chart, you can. You want to bring up a certain chart, I'll bring it up for you. I'm in free fall. I'm just letting this happen. Here are the rules. Don't take up the whole conversation in amount of time. I'll lead the conversation. I'm just being real with you. Be nice. I don't necessarily want to get in any kind of long-winded political conversation. So there's that. Let's just try to do astrology, okay? And there's a number on the screen. You call me, and we'll do something here. And you can, listen, I usually say people can call that haven't called before. So there's people here who've called me before. So let's try to stick to that. And if not, I'll deal with it. Because that's what I do. I deal with it. You know what I really do in my life? I put out fires. That's what I do. Here. Hold on. Let's see if this works. Hello? Are you there? See, this might not be working. Hold on a second. I don't. Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on with me, okay? I know what I did wrong. Let's see if I can do this. Can you talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, perfect.
And,
It's Dora Destroy.
hi, Door Destroy. We'll go really short amount of time because I already got a bunch of people calling in. And everybody in chat needs to let me know if you can hear Door Destroy.
Can you hear me?
I
Can you
can.
hear me?
I can. I'm putting the thing.
I have a very easy question. I
Sure.
am moving
You're moving.
on the 22nd of this month, and I just want to know how that day looks.
All right. I right now the chart's up on the screen, and it's
Okay.
Portland. So, but let's look at the date. And mind you, there's going to be delay when you and I are talking, so you just stick with my words, and you'll see the chart up on the screen eventually here. You will see Mercury at 21 degrees. Since we're talking about it, it's getting to the place, by the way, where it's going to station retrograde. It actually does that. Yeah, you're moving during a Mercury station, basically. Give me a second.
Excellent.
Might as well. But I could be wrong about that, okay? So hold on.
Okay.
I like how yeah, good enthusiasm. That's the attitude. That's the attitude to take.
You got to do what you got to do.
Okay, hold on a second because I might be wrong about this. Why am I not seeing? Oh yeah, no, the Mercury retrograde happens on the 25th. It's just slow.
This is why I scheduled the 22nd, as I felt like we were heading into it, and I didn't want to move on Thanksgiving, so it works out.
Right. No. I got you. I know, and it's a weird time to move, but basically, you can see the sun's in the Sag. We have Mercury there slowing down. I still would pay attention to the details. I definitely would. And let me do something else here for myself. Nope, that's not it, Nicholas. The 22nd. Venus sextile Saturn. Moon goes into Virgo in 3 p.m. Pacific on the Friday. And it seems okay. That's all right. It's not that wild. It is going towards a station date in the next 2 days, but it's better than
it's not dramatic, so that's what I was really hoping for.
Yeah, and again, you have to go look at this with your own chart. You could be in my database. I think I know you're in my database, but you could be in my database. But just know that there isn't anything wild particularly happening today. It's just Mercury slowing down though. So even though the station's going to happen there on the 25th, that happens officially at 6:42 p.m. on the 25th. Know that here's one thing I will say though. This gets into the mutable realm of things because depending on what time of the day, and if you're looking here, remember it's delayed, but for those watching, you're going to see the moon go into Virgo, which basically kind of hits and triggers 4 mutable points in astrology. So we have Mercury in Sag, Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini, and here comes the moon in Virgo to start the grand cross off. Now, it hits going into the next day, which leads to the retrograde. That's where it can get funky. But you could have moved 2 days later or during Thanksgiving. You don't want to do that. So this is what you picked. So that's what it is. Anyway.
It is what it is. And I figured I already knew I needed details, so that works.
Yeah. It's I'm sure you'll have a story though.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
every time I move. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, you have to look to see, do you mind saying your angles? I can't remember. What are your angles in your chart? What's your rising sign?
I'm an Aries rising.
Yeah. So basically, if you're paying attention to Mercury, it's flowing with you per se with your rising sign, right? And that you're a Mars ruled person, and then Mars is in Leo, and it's doing okay. It's not that. It's good. You're good.
Well, I'm a Leo moon, and my Mars is in my 12th house.
Your Mars is in what house? Your Mars in Pisces?
Yeah, Mars in Pisces.
Right. Yeah. And what's the degree of your moon? Leo moon?
Leo, I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. From a just simple perspective of mercurial activities, you're always doing it at interesting time. Just double, triple check shit. Because if you're moving on the Friday, most likely you're not going to get it done on all one day because you know how it is. You'll move and it's like the whole next 2 weeks. It's like boxes and movements
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. No, totally. I'm
yeah.
moving my 4 cats into my friend's house, who he also has cats. So it's like an ordeal, but it's gonna save my behind, and I get to go home to where I'm from. So it's working out, and it's very Saturn. I'm going home to my paternal family home.
Yes, and I'm acting like I don't know things, but I know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
so listen, good luck with everything, okay? And regardless, be relentless.
Yes.
All right?
I'm the commander.
You are the commander. Yes, you are the commander. Thanks for calling.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, see ya. All right, people. There was a bunch of calls coming in here before, and I'll take them. Let's do it. I'll put this up on there. That's interesting. Someone's, when you're moving, I want to do it during Mercury retrograde. Right before, it's like, okay, you know what's happening, then you prepare as best as you can with it. And then when things get weird, it all depends on emotional triggers, how one deals. Hello, Sparkles of Gold. You're on air with me.
Hello?
Yes, you need to turn down your whatever you're watching me on.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's you.
It's me. Like I heard myself and then I'm hearing myself again, which is the story of my Gemini life.
Wow. How are you still talking on live and you're talking to me?
I know, it's amazing technology, isn't it?
Oh, I'm on air. Okay, I can't
Yeah,
okay,
don't look at the TV per se. Just listen to my voice.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's going to be delayed, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you're figuring it out, huh?
Yes, I need to not look at it.
That's right. And I'll tell you when to look at it. If I have to pull a chart up there, then you go look at it. But don't pay attention to my voice. Just listen to me,
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
So let's reset, okay?
Sounds good.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Okay, good. All right, good. What is the name you would like to use or a word to represent who you are?
Odette.
Hi, Odette.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
Well, I have it is a personal question. Is that all right with you?
Whatever you feel comfortable with, Odette.
Okay, so when Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's going to move from my Capricorn stellium into my Aquarius stellium. And I guess I was curious if you have any words of advice for entering that period of having Pluto into my 10th house.
Okay, so you're telling me that you have a Capricorn stellium and you have some other planets in Aquarius, correct?
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a Capricorn 9th house and an Aquarius 12th house, or excuse me, 10th house, correct?
Yes.
Right. Right. Do you don't have to do this. Do you know the degree of your midheaven?
I do. I know it all. I'm an astrologer, so.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So my midheaven is at 4 degrees.
Got you. Okay. Aquarius.
And it has Mercury conjoined it. Mercury retrograde.
So you have Mercury in Aquarius conjoined your midheaven in your natal chart.
Yes.
Okay. So.
And Mars is at 2 degrees of Aquarius, and then my chart ruler Venus is at 25 degrees of Aquarius.
Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, good. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you this, and tell me the first thing that just comes out. There's no judgment here. There's no right or wrong, okay?
Okay.
All right. What's the most powerful planet in the chart for you?
Venus, I mean, Saturn and Venus feels like the right answer.
Okay, so Saturn and Venus feels that way. And you said you have Venus in Aquarius, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Saturn in Capricorn?
No, I have Saturn in Pisces, but it's ruling so many of my planets. So,
You're in the middle of a return right now.
yes.
And
And
that
that Saturn's at 20 degrees,
got you. Oh, wow. Wow. So right now you're in.
opposing my moon,
I see.
which
I
is
see.
at Virgo at
Yeah.
26
I
degrees.
could, if you wanted to, I could pull up your chart right here. It's up to you if you want to give me your data, but that doesn't matter. I asked you that question
Mm,
because I asked you that question because now I'm going to narrow it down, help you with this. If you were to think about the top of your chart and how you're representative there and how you would like to represent yourself at the top of the chart and the midheaven, so how in a sense you want to, what you want to aspire to and become the authority on, right? you
hmm
know what would that be for you? What would that be for someone with a 10th house Saturn ruled Aquarius and Pluto entering there and eventually going to hit these other planets? What power do you aspire to, on the top of your chart?
I think being an artist is important to me, but also, it sounds silly, but like being a poet, but like through my worldview, maybe being kind of like a visionary and actually like I feel like I'm really good at doing that in my one just in my like day-to-day experience, but something about it like being more public with it in a way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm definitely an idea guy.
Yeah.
I mean, also being an astrologer, I mean that um they're all kind of tied together, I guess. Like astrology to me is a way of moving through the world, a philosophy, like an approach. And I think there's an art to it as well as a science, obviously. And it's connected to also, I'm a photographer specifically.
Hmm.
Um, so like visionary, I guess, but like literally like seeing or witnessing and like what I take in, I feel like sorry, I don't know if I'm rambling.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
But I think I'm a good listener to like the world, and in turn when I listen, learn a lot, and I think I have a lot to share, not coming from a place of like me, Odette, like not about my ego, but more like being a translator of these wisdoms I can hear in the world. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. No, I feel what you're saying there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I put you on the spot with a question of what you would want your 10th house to be and what you aspire to there in a sense, right? And you're fleshing it out with me live. Kudos to you, by the way, for doing this. But you asked me about Pluto hitting the top of your chart. One thing I could say for sure is you are going to be given reins and buttons and levers and tools of power. And that is coming for you for 20 years up there.
Mm,
So listening to what you're saying to me, what you want to aspire to, and kind of getting the gist of who you are. You mentioned a big thing here. It's not an ego thing for you, right? So when I hear something like that, I know the ego thing that you're talking about. When I hear some of that, I hear the Aquarius talking part of the chart because it's in the sense of like facilitating and being there and doing the best we can as a contribute to a group of people or a person or facilitating whatever it is, creatively,
yeah,
verbally as an
yeah,
astrologer, right? So,
yeah,
and the Aquarian way is to let go of ego a lot of times, or at least try to, right? And
yeah,
to be there, and it's almost like I don't even want the accolades. I want to contribute and do the best I can for you or for the world or for my situation, for myself.
exactly. Which is was such a weird thing because it's like I want to be like seen so I can do that, but I don't, yeah, don't necessarily, it's kind of actually uncomfortable.
Sure. And then you add the society that we live in, because in order to do this with people, it's like how are you to be, let's say you're an astrologer or a professional astrologer, the way it works now is you got to have a newsletter, a Substack, an IG account,
Right,
right? And
right,
then you got to play the game. And then by playing the game, it gets
right,
into literal ego-ness that
right.
I
Oh my
so
God,
I
yes.
know, I know. I hear you. I hear you on this. Listen, the one thing is like I already know with you, Odette, that you're going to do it your way regardless. The key is how comfortable you are with that. But I think with Pluto coming into the top of your chart that way, you're going to be put in power positions even if you would try to run away from it, that you're going to find yourself there. And remember, what comes along with this is amazing things, powerful things, literally. But what comes along with it is you got to deal with the remnants and the byproducts that come along with wielding power, being in power positions you find yourself in. There's always going to be something trying to knock you off the pedestal. You're going to try to knock yourself off the pedestal. These are things that just come along with Pluto positions. But it's
Yeah.
coming your way. But if I get the sense from you, Odette, that your heart, you run with your heart.
Trying to.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm not worried about you. We need more people like you. As a matter of fact,
But you know what? My Capricorn stellium is like everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, and also can I like I'm always thinking about how responsibility, like how power is this huge responsibility, right? And
mhm.
um like I'm always kind of doubting, can I do a good job with that responsibility?
You can do a good job. I actually think you're already doing a good job because you're checking yourself. We can be having a completely other conversation where you're talking to me and you're worried that you only have 47 subscribers or 47 followers on your Instagram and it's not enough. We could have that conversation and you could come at me that way, but that's not how you're living. You're worried about the craft and the art and your presence of doing the best that you can do, the best job you could do as a creative person, as an astrologer. See, for me, when I hear this, you're an astrologer, we need more people like you. You're not trying to step on everybody else to get to the top or to get the followers as an astrologer. You're more worried about doing the best you can with the craft itself and respecting the craft, respecting yourself and other people. So for me, you're already there. Your mindset, your heart's involved, and that's what I mean. I'm like, and then Pluto's coming for the top of your chart. I'm glad Pluto's coming to the top of your chart because I think, you can wield it. Is there going to be some tough moments? Is it going to be intense? It is. But considering what's happening in the outside world, Pluto going
Yeah.
in Aquarius, Uranus going into Gemini, which is going to affect this, by the way, what we're talking about in your chart. Your second and 10th houses, your sixth house. So, I want the power to go your way. And will you fumble with the power? Will you make some mistakes? You totally will. But I think it's more about like the way you might talk to yourself. I don't see you making mistakes helping other people. I don't see you being manipulative like the other Pluto side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. So
Well, thank you. I feel like it's already just really activating like the fear, like the Plutonian kind of like.
I totally get it. By the way, I got 10th house Aquarius house. I got a
Oh
two.
my God.
I got a 2.5-degree Aquarius moon. I know exactly I know. It's not the same situation, but I know this. I know
Yeah.
this. Like this. So you're calling me, and I catch this. And here's one more thing. And this is more an acknowledgement and confirmation of what you have done, Odette. And I don't know your story. I don't know anything. But I do know. That you did a massive Saturn in Capricorn transit. And then you
Yeah.
did a Saturn in Aquarius transit. And then you're doing Saturn in Pisces. It's like how much Saturn do you know what I mean? So Okay,
Yeah,
there's
listen,
yeah.
listen. I have Jupiter in Capricorn, my sun in Capricorn, Neptune in Capricorn, and Uranus in Capricorn.
Hmm.
So basically, my whole chart is all the planets in the ninth and tenth.
Yeah, you're
So
going into how many
yeah,
years here? 7.5 years of Saturn, basically. Like
yeah.
you're doing. So let's not even think about Pluto here before we get off the phone. You know,
I guess it's really yeah.
yeah. And I'll leave you with this. It's up to you. It's just a thing. It's more than a suggestion, because we're being honest. Talk. This isn't a reading, but you kind of see the way I talk. But it's like, find the places to pat yourself on the back for all the Saturn work that you've done all these years. As a matter of fact, all the work that you're doing and the return that you're doing now, when it's finally officially done, you're going to play with this here next year in the spring. It's going to do its thing. But after all this, that Saturn work that you've done for 7 years, that plays into your 10th house and Pluto transit, because it rules that place. You've even said it in this conversation of what you want to do, what you want to aspire to, and what you've come from, and what your worries, and but your worries are legit worries, but they're also like, because you just want to do the right thing, right? And
Yeah.
and more power to you, Odette.
Okay, but it's like it's that, but it's also like you make it sound so good, but like my fear is like sometimes that because I am so afraid, I'm like very avoidant of it. So like I don't know if that makes sense. Just it's like the opportunities sometimes present themselves, but it's like the fear of the responsibility and then like running away from it, which is I think maybe what is so scary about like, oh, here comes into my 10th house. It's going to be all public instead of it being like, I don't know.
That might be part of the story there for you, that you're gonna walk through the fire a little bit. Like you're gonna be helping and mirroring and facilitating with other people's fears, and part of it is you show your own. Could be that way, but it's a thing where you're also still in the middle of a Saturn return, and what the words you're using with me and the things is like you're in Saturn place.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
guess it's true.
it's part of the deal, like, heavy contemplation, and there's the fear and everything, the way Saturn can do, the way it could be. But I'm not trying to hype you up, be your hype man in the corner, but I am.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but remember though, it's not just your Saturn team, but the Saturn work you have done. And if you need clues to a little bit of what your 10th house could be because of Pluto, you had Saturn go through there, and you had Jupiter and Aquarius go through there, right? And they
Yeah.
set you up for what's next here with a longer Pluto transit. But remember, with Pluto, it's there, then it kind of disappears, and it's working underneath, and it's when the other planets come through Aquarius that kind of will bring it up to the surface. So if you can remember those things, that if it seems to be consuming you, or it can be that way, or you get into frozen fear places, to step out of it. If you don't have to look at astrology for 2 weeks in the chart just to give yourself a break, do it.
Right.
Anyway, I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
no, you make a good point. I think maybe because I'm at the tail end. I have Uranus at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So,
yeah.
Pluto's been sitting on top of that. Maybe that's why I'm like focusing on it. But you're right that like it's going to be such a long transit that it'll be intense, but it's not, gonna happen immediately once it goes
Yeah, totally.
into
Yeah. And,
Aquarius. It
and
takes time to
yeah, and
develop.
remember too, one more time, and reiterate this, because I'm a Saturn astrologer in the end, that this is really all Saturn based, even the words that you've used today. And so, it just has, and they're real.
Yeah.
It's very real, and that's what Saturn is. So, Odette,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I know you have probably a lot of callers. Thank you so much.
You,
Really
you're
appreciate
you're welcome,
everything.
Odetta, and appreciate you being real and honest. Okay, and you can always hit me up if I don't know if you follow me in IG. I can't tell with people's usernames and shit.
I do. I do. It's a pleasure, and I'm definitely would maybe love to get a reading. Gonna look at your website.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you go look at that. But what I was getting to before we leave is if you do anything professionally, astrologically, you write something, whatever, send it to me on my DM and IG. I'll go read it and stuff. I'll go support you. So.
oh, Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem.
Love your work so much. Okay, have a good night.
See you.
Bye.
Hello, you're with Sparkles of Gold. You're on air with me.
Hey, so I have called before, Nicholas.
Yes. Can you talk a little louder?
Yeah, I have called before. This is Mila,
Hi, Myla.
And Nicholas,
Yes.
I'm very curious. I have Mars as my lead planet conjunct Uranus in Gemini, and I don't know if that explains it, but I have been dying to see your chart. And it's really interesting to me that you've got Moon in Aquarius at early degrees. But would you share your chart with us?
No, that will cost $500 to
Okay.
do that. That's
Okay. And for the last caller, my midheaven is 27 degrees Capricorn. And so I've gone through all of these transits over my midheaven. And I have to say that this Pluto crossing over my midheaven has actually been very empowering for me.
mm-hmm.
So I just want to say, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's intense, but all of the transits over my midheaven have been quite remarkably empowering. And and that may be in part because my natal chart, all of the planets are below the horizon except for Jupiter in the seventh house. And anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you called and supported Mila, just saying what it is, because, we all, it's Pluto has an interesting way we talk about in astrology, or astrologers have talked about it and all this. It varies. And, as honestly, I could say in the last couple of years when I've been talking with people and clients, and when Pluto comes up, the majority of the words and the feeling about it doesn't feel empowering. It's more of a fear-based thing and scared or that kind of thing. And I mean, I believe people to be feeling that and understand it, but I also think it's part of a way that we as astrologers have transmitted Pluto information. And it's such a new thing in astrology, so I think it's ever evolving about what Pluto is. Like, how many times can we use the word rebirth or regeneration or whatever, right? I think there's more to it than that. But part of it is, too, is like it's such an ominous the word itself is ominous. The glyph itself is ominous. It's just like it seems that way, right? So, anyway, so saying that, I'm glad you called let's just say that, because for Odette listening there, and for me, I've had a Pluto transit. I can, I don't want to talk about my personal life and my chart like that, but I've talked about it in my streams for the last 2.5 years. Certain moments, what comes with this very famous. I don't know what comic book it is, but what comes with great power is great responsibility. It's part of the deal, but I've seen many stories of people who have done Pluto work, have gone through, and then they've said the words you have said, Mila, like tonight, right? So it's there, people. It's a good thing too, Sometimes it's hard to hear that or to see it. So.
And so one other thing, someone had mentioned in the chat something. They noticed the owl in the background of your that wall hanging behind you.
Yes.
And the owl is associated with Pallas Athena, the strategist. And I actually have Pallas Athena in Pisces, forming a grand trine to my Mercury and Venus conjunct in Cancer and Jupiter in Scorpio. And I, among other things, I like to strategize with people, and I think I'm pretty good at figuring out strategies. And it seems like your work, you tend to also strategize with the people who ask you for advice. And I'm wondering, do you have a powerful Pallas Athena is it prominent? Is it really significant in your chart? How did you happen to have that owl hanging behind you?
Well, I can't really answer that one. I won't. But what I will tell you is this owl behind me, you don't know how many, like, the cost of having this owl is. It is like, I'm like buying live rodents by the dozens to keep this thing here. It is like, it's a lot. You know how much that is, Mila? But the wisdom is worth it.
Huh.
So saying that, I have a strategic. It's interesting you said strategic with me, because I try to work with clients. Let's say if it's a Saturnian situation, to find a way. I'm not one of these people that I can talk up. I could sell anything to anybody. I could do it. But it's more like, if I see a situation with people and it's Saturnian based, and it's a lot of times that way, there is some strategy to it, like, oh, well, how can you do this? How can you remediate this? How can you understand this and work with it? But I am not one of these people who's going to be completely fluff and say, oh, it's going to be good no matter what. I'm always real, Saturnian real with people, but saying at the same time, I think Saturn is such a good planet in the end, because it's results based, or it can be. And once someone starts to understand and figure out and accept Saturn in a certain way, it's very real. It's not just in someone's head, right? A philosophical something in someone's head. It's workable in daily life, so on and so forth. So thank you for acknowledging, like, you see the way I work,
Yeah.
So anyway, so saying that, this owl, by the way, just to finish the story, because I'm going to take the next caller, this owl is a story behind this particular thing that has to do with an old friend of mine who painted this. And it was an exchange for me working a opera that my friend wrote. And he had backgrounds that he painted. And this was one of the backgrounds in one of the scenes. And I was the person that was opening and closing the drapes to the side of the stage, a little mini stage, like kind of like a very, I won't even get into it, but he used to do opera shows and weird stuff in this artist space. And so this particular owl was part of an opera he did based on the Wobblies. And if anybody can go research what the Wobblies were in the Pacific Northwest way back when.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Loggers and all this stuff. So anyway, that's all I'll say. But this particular painting and another one I have that you don't see are very personal for me, because they have to do with, and I won't even get into it, just certain things that happened in my life, and how I've always had owls and crows and certain things in my life symbolically. And Athena is one of the goddesses that I honor, because of the goddess of wisdom and strategy, so on and so forth.
All right. Well, thank you. And I took a break from watching the election results and was happy to see you on live.
I came on here on purpose because I'm like, I have a feeling I'm going to have some people we could talk. But Mila, okay. I always appreciate your brain, okay? So take care of yourself.
You too.
All right. Bye. Let me check in chat. And I don't know how many people are watching. I don't know. Good. You guys are talking to each other. Chat. Nadia in chat. Good to see you here, by the way. And I like how you all are talking. And big up, good callers tonight. We've had some calls here. And so on that note, I will wind down. Hi, Lisa Schneider in chat. Good morning from South Africa. Good morning to you there in the Southern Hemisphere. Say hi to the sun for me, will ya? There were some other people in chat, like Aaron Macro Astrology. I saw that. Awakened Self in chat. I see you there. Yelena's here tonight, today, wherever you are. And for all those not in chat, I know exactly who you are. Respect my boundaries. So, saying that, I'll hang out for a little bit more. Do I take another phone call? Hey, yeah, you're in California. Let's do it. Let's go here. By the way, Odette, this slide's for you. Odette, this slide's for you. Okay, it's for people who've been watching my channel. This slide and the slides that I have, did I get this correctly? Like, I trust myself, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to work this as we go into a 0-degree Pluto ingress here, and you're prepared. You're preparing yourself. It's not just for the ingress. It's preparing yourself for 20 years. As a matter of fact, regardless of the electional results that are happening here, we're working on another level. That's why somebody like Odette, who called, who's trying to figure it out, who's dealing with what one can be, or can I do this, and the Saturnian some things, has been working on it, because in the end, down the line, not to put the pressure on you, Odette, but we need people like you, because this is what we're really doing. It's regardless of who wins tonight party-wise, there's massive fundamental changes that are happening, that us as people and how we free ourselves to become ourselves, eventually find others like us who speak the same language and code to change society within itself, whether it's politically and creatively. We're in this fight together, but first we have to go within our own little fights and understand the Plutonian situation that's happening in the Aquarius part of our chart, and to remember that you trust yourself, you're talented enough, you're prepared, you're preparing. What are you preparing for, right? What are you preparing for? And that's the key here to understand, I think, in the beginning of a transit like this, and what we will be doing in the world and as a culture and whatever. It's about to go beyond politics. It's about to go where who's your crew, who's your community, who's your family, and how you support each other while being your your individual selves, and cultivating that. Isn't that the Aquarian ideal, right? We want something new. We must change what's not working. It's still Saturnian-based sign, so there are rules and containers. It can get very dogmatic, which this Pluto in Aquarius transit is going to get super dogmatic. But at the same time, on your own personal world level, you're fucking preparing. And you tell yourself, and you are, you're talented enough to do whatever's. And while the world and society economically is making you scrape for pennies and do everything else, you have to find your way. And know, though, in the back of your mind and your fear place, that you're not the only one. You can know, actually, there's some other people like you in that place, but is uniquely talented enough. Trusting, learning to trust themselves. And you're preparing. You're preparing yourself. You're preparing yourself because we're about to hit the town squares again. Virtually hear what we do, but face to face. And so I've been saying this on my channel for the whole year, that slowly Uranus is going to go into Gemini. We're going to do this thing, and we're going to be face to face in certain ways again. And that's what we're getting ready for. That's me, my channel, my thing, right? So Odette, soldier for love. We need you. Soldier for love? Is that what he just said? Isn't there a song like that? Is that a Sade song? I think it is. All right. I think maybe, should I be done, or should I take one more phone call? Because I haven't even paid attention to my phone. Nah, I don't think that's enough. That's enough. It's time for me to go. I wish I would have got chocolate at the store today, but I didn't do it. All right, let me look. I see you in chat. They're right on. Yeah, it's a Sade song, isn't it? Let's see if I look this up really quick, and then I will get the hell off of this. Well, actually, I will pull something else. What is soul? The soldier of love? Yeah, it is. It is. I was right. I was right. That's right. Soldier of love. Damn, she's hot, man. God, I got the biggest crush on this person, man. She's such a mysterious life, by the way. But yeah, she's just like got some deep deep something, man. You talk priestess right here, priestess with her voice. I mean, I'm gonna listen to this album tonight because now that it came up, look at the name of this song is "The Moon in the Sky." That's the first name of the song. It's like "Soldier of Love," "Long Hard Road." That's Saturn. "Bring Me Home," sure. "The Safest Place." This is like a moon set Saturnian album. So yeah, it's funny. Oh yeah, I was gonna pull a card, by the way. I was. That's what I need to go grab the deck. So give me a second, okay? In the meantime, let me put something on screen here. Let me put a chart up on the screen for you to look at. Just because we were talking about this, because we're gonna go. What's it trying again? All right, here. I'll put this chart up on screen while I get it, okay? And I want you to look at this chart. This is May 27th of 2025 of next year. You could see right here, look at where, man, this is going to come up fast. But look at, there's Pluto retrograde 3 degrees. And there is, no, this is Pluto trine Mercury. That's not, I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. It was Uranus trine Pluto, Nicholas. There's the official one. Okay, here's the official one. It's 2026 here, July 17th. Keep it on here. We could see 4 degrees Uranus, and here's 4 degrees Pluto, and we have this trine. Get ready, people. In the meantime, let me go get this. Where the hell is... Oh, there it is. All right, thanks for being patient. I hope you absorbed that chart here. Okay, so 2026. Look at here. Look at the node. The node is at 0, about to leave, and we're going to go into Leo South Node, North Node, Aquarius stuff around this time, and it will turn into a Saturn Sun story. But so much ahead of us. Look at this point, you'll see Saturn at 14 degrees Aries. Yeah. Jupiter and Leo. Jupiter and Leo. God, we're going to have to deal with the Leos. Jupiter. I haven't seen anybody say anything in chat about this chart because there's something else going on in this chart. I just gave you the clue. I just said it. Jupiter will be sextiling Uranus and opposites Pluto. You feel me? You see this? You know what's interesting about this chart is if you look at the degrees of this, is Jupiter and Leo 3 degrees, there's Pluto 4 degrees. It's going backwards here, right? Okay. We do Mars opposite Pluto. We know that we just had the one here, and here's January 2nd coming up of this year. You see Pluto in Mars at 1 degree. Okay. And then the next one is April 26, 2025. And you see 3 degrees. See what's happening? Anyway. All right. So I see super chat here happening before we get to pulling a card. Nadia, thank you for the super chat. Always appreciate this space. You're welcome. Thanks, Nicholas and all. See? Oh, that's what I want to hear. I want to see not just about me. It's people in this chat thank you, by the way, for being real on the chat and supporting each other. Okay. So, grateful, Gil. Rick loves to talk about his chart. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he does. He first right there and there saying it, Rick. All right, so let's pull a card and get with life. Come on, West Coast. West Coast is the Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. We already knew in Georgia, and it's the West Coast, so we already know, right? But that's what's up. Okay, so how the hell do we sum up tonight here? Because I went wild. I did anything. I took phone calls. I talked about some transits. I went on a rant. I think I covered all the basics of drawing the card. I didn't showcase a book, but I'm not going to. Did I do weird noises with music? Did I do that? Can't remember. Hold on a second. Hold on. I took phone calls. I'm trying to see if my sound is working. Give me a second. Doesn't want to work. I don't know why. That works. Yeah, why isn't it working? All right, I'll get to that in a second. All right, let's do this. Nadia, thanks for the super chat. I see Awakened Self with the super chat on me here. Thank you. You answered my confusion by being present on this live tonight. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Awakened Self. Yeah. I knew I should have came on live tonight. I knew it. It was calling me. Well, I got two decks. I got the one, the Oracle deck that I usually choose from, and then I got, man, this deck. I don't know if I'll pull this, but I just got to show you this deck, man. This dude, go research who this guy is, because he will rock your world. This is Robert Plays, massive dude in the tarot world. There's many books and decks. He's a tripper. He's a weirdo. I love it. He's got a couple books on the history of tarot that are really well done. I picked this book up, this deck, earlier this year. I really love this deck. Beautiful. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to draw from this, but I will show you there. See, got to have the gold, and then I will just pick one. No, I mean, actually, I'm going to pick one and not show you. Oh my God. Oh no. This is a mystery. I'm not going to show you what this is. Let me look at it here. Oh, Nicholas. All right, so let's do it from this deck here. And all right, so got to get out of here. I got some work to do tonight, actually. This never ends. And I choose that to occupy myself. Changes are coming to this channel, good ones. Tech things that I'm working on in the next couple weeks. Some special guest stars, maybe. Some other things, and even the background could happen if I actually get it together. I see you, Kiska, in chat talking about an opera about the Wobblies. Yes. I what's it called? I forget what he called it. Another part of my life with amazing creative people that I used to run with. Let's do it. Okay. This deck is so huge to play with. It's like, all right. govern your expenses, it says. What are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to say to me? And I think I lost the, hold on. I lost the something. Oh, there it is. It's number 72. Number 72. This one's a short one. It says, govern your expenses, a straightforward maxim. Do not be wasteful, mostly in terms of money, but also generally, all your resources. Do not waste. That's all it says. That's the shortest maximum I've got from all this, is govern your expenses. And are you paying attention to the actual symbolism, what the silhouette person is? Please tell me what you see in chat. What does that person doing, and what is in their hands? What is in their hands? What are they doing? Doesn't that seem familiar to you? Doesn't that seem something? It does. And you cannot be surprised on my live streams with these cards and what the hell happens at the end of my streams. So this one goes out to Odette and to all of you, into the damn slides I pull up and what we're about to do in the era that we're going into. I might do a live stream soon on Quincy Jones's chart. It'll take me a while, but just for kicks. Something, he passed away yesterday, man. This person, it's a force. I shed some tears over this one, but an amazing person. But I almost felt like an era died yesterday. And I feel like we're dying era now. This election, the political things, the ways of doing things, the status quo, it doesn't work anymore. And we know it. We have to look in our personal lives and out there. We already know. We know the astrology of it. Is it scary? It fucking is. But there's no going back. There's no going back. So that's what happens in death. That's what happens in the in-between space. We all have our ways of dealing with it and getting through. I don't blame you all out there, people watching me, or you sitting there and you got to do whatever it takes. You got to medicate yourself. You got to do whatever it takes. There's people right now who don't have any electronics on. They're probably sitting in front of their altars. Whatever you got to do to deal, I get it. I ain't going to judge you. But no, we're in that place. Astrologically, we are. And there's pain and hard movements in that place of moving through birth canals. So, this is it's just part of the deal. But just know that you're not doing it alone. We're doing it together. That's why I always bring it up on my streams. I'm not running away from anything. Not running away from anything. I wrote something today on my Threads account and my Facebook account. I said, regardless of what happens today in the election, whoever wins, that to keep dreaming and to keep creating. That is true power. Okay, that is true power right there. All right. So listen, everybody, thanks for going with me on a surprise stream and dealing with me and going with it. For those who hang on, who hung on, who deal with me. I don't know if I'm going to leave this one up, but don't know. But I just went with the flow. I should work. I really should just play a video game. I mean, I just said we're not going back. Don't look back. Don't look back. Anyway, there's a video game I haven't played in a while, and it's Hades. I should go play that game. Because the soundtrack's amazing, and it has to do actually with a lot of what we're talking about. I'm not looking back or moving forward or living and dying and living and dying over and over and over again, and trying to move through. I out of one place into another and crashing and burning, but getting smarter each time. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. I'd sure like to get my music rolling to get out of here. And I'm going to try one more time. Let's see if I can do this. Doesn't want to do it. Might have to do it the other way.